So this is a quick overview of psychometric recruitment. This is a platform designed so that you can use personality profiling with recruiters, with employers. An unusual model because although it's completely online, the model is dependent on vendors. So it's designed to work in conjunction with a vendor network. It's not about selling stuff directly online, unusually. It's about selling via vendors. Now this small diagram shows roughly how it works. Clients can pay offline or online, or offline with a check. The system can take the payment online and accredit it to the specific vendor. Or the client can pay by check and the system raises a pro forma invoice, in which case the vendor actually pays via their account into the system on behalf of their client. So it's really up to the vendor whether they extend credit to a client and how much. The other unique thing here is that the vendor has control over the negotiations with the client. So rather than set a rigid price structure, which really is difficult for people, the psychometric recruitment can simply set guidelines and allow a vendor to have negotiation, because if you're negotiating over 10 reports, it's one price, but say you move into 1,000 reports, then of course the negotiation is entirely different, and the vendor is the person who needs control over that. So that's the way that it's set up. And that explains, in a nutshell, the business model itself. The entire technology and the psychology that all this runs on is already developed and sitting here. And I'm going to show you a couple of the control rooms now. So this is the control room for an actual client. This is what an employer would use. And it's very simple. They can get candidates to complete a questionnaire. Everybody appears here. They click on their name and they get to see a report. And they can choose from any number of reports that have been designed for them to view. What is absolutely unique about the system is that the actual client, the employer, can design their own reports. And this is what this section does here. So we've created a vast library of topics. I think there's about 90 so far in this library as it stands. And the employer can simply go tick the boxes. They can pick up to 5 per report design, create a report, save it as something that they recognize as their own name, and there we go. They've got their own custom-made report for whatever job titles that they feel they're using. And they can create as many designs as they like. They don't get charged for the designs. Thereafter, it's a simple case of them raising a quote request. So if I've designed a report, I'll give it a name. So I know what the name of that report is as the employer. And I simply say, right, give me a quote for 10 of those. That goes to the vendor. The vendor then can put a price on that and say, okay, 10 of those will cost you this amount of money, and they submit that. That automatically goes to the client. The client can accept it or negotiate it or talk about it. And if they like it, then they can just simply order thereafter. And that's the price they'll get that batch of reports at from here on in. How that appears in the vendor control room, we'll look at the vendor service side of things. They can see all the clients that are theirs registered under their account. And of course, they can see the outstanding quote requests. So they simply click on that and they can see, okay, I have an outstanding quote request, and they can choose to go and do something about that. And here we are here. So you simply go in, you look at what was it they asked for. Okay, so they wanted, say 10 of these, or in this case it's not been filled in, but so they wanted so many of those. Then you simply put a price in for the total package, approve it, and the client then gets it. You can also give away free trials, and vendors need some leeway to do that. And again, it's about, so the psychometric recruitment's management is about managing the vendors, not managing the clients. And of course, you need to check that the vendors aren't giving away too much or charging too little or wandering off the guidelines. So in simple terms, without getting into all the features, because there's a whole bunch of features and there's a video for each one, that is how the system operates. All the technology is built, and what we're looking to do is actually license this technology and the psychology, but of course you can add other psychology and other content into that to build these reports and add to those topics library. That's it in a nutshell.